Welcome to this new episode of Continuum Gaming, and in this episode we are going to have another look at a SailfishOS related topic, which will be in this case stop motion, which of course is not the stop motion art itself, but it's an app on SailfishOS. And you can get it from Shum, and it does more or less exactly what the art would tell you, the name would tell you. It's going to help you to create small little stop motion animations, for instance, or bigger ones if you want to, on SailfishOS devices. And yeah, it's a pretty nice app which you can download for free as always. And for that I'm going to use my Sony Xperia 10 Mark III in this case here, just to show you everything. And of course this is SailfishOS empowered, and you are going to be able to see everything on the big screen because I'm using Screencast. That's a technology where I can more or less project everything that is on my smartphone to the big screen and show it to you on both devices. There will be some kind of a delay, but since we're doing stop motion anyway, I don't think it matters much, right? So let's see. So in the end, to get Stop Motion, this app, you have to go to the Shum store. So in the end, go, if you already have installed it, of course, go to the stores, go to your Shum GUI, for instance. If you don't have that or anything like that, please have a look at the corner up there. I'm going to put a link there to another video where I'm talking about how to get all the different things I'm using here on that one. Okay, so in the end, as you already can see, this is my smartphone. It's going to show you the same stuff that you see there. And in the end, what you want to do now is you want to go to the Applications folder, or Anwendung in German. Then you just type in Stop Motion, and you already see it, there it is. If you click on that, then you already can see there are a couple of different informations here. Just install it. You can do that by just going to the drawer menu at the start. And in here, for me, I already have it on there, so it's not going to show me anything else. But here you would have installed, so or maybe add repository and then install, I'm not sure at the moment. Just get the last point there, it will give you the app after a while, at least if you are setting it up twice. But I think on Shum you only have to put the install button and it's going to do everything for you, and you don't have to put it through both steps. I think that's open browse, but I'm not sure at the moment, so just do that. If you did that, then after a while you're going to get a new app. It's in general at this point, I already put it into my gallery and edit folder up here, so it depends on what you're going to do there, and you will see this small little icon. So let's start that up. And in the end, what you already can see here, you're going to be able to see everything through your camera lens. So this is my smartphone, of course, with my camera. And what you already can see here is I have two little characters and more or less a small little share there, where one of the characters is sitting in, and I'm just going to show you what is going on. It's not going to be any kind of a great animation or whatever. I'm just showing you what the app is capable of and how to use it, okay? So in the end, what you want to do here is, first off, you can swipe to the right or to the left, to the right, from the left to the right, whatever. And as you can see, this is going to be one of the interfaces here. This one is very important. This is the delay button. I would highly recommend you to increase it from, let's say, 1 or something like that, it is set to at the start, to 5 or something. It means that it's going to take 5 seconds between each camera shot or each image that is going to be recorded in the end, because as you might be able to see, I'm not sure here, it is a little bit on the low side with the contrast, but whatever. You can see there are a couple of different things, and one of them is, as you can see, on interval and single snap. I'm going to use the on interval part, and with the on interval part you can see, okay, every 5 seconds in this case, you can increase that whatever you want. I would say 5 is a pretty nice number for that. If I can reset it, there we go. It's a pretty nice number for that. You can of course increase it to 10 or whatever you want to, it depends on what you have in mind there. Then you can of course just tell him, hey, where would you like to save it? On the SD card, for instance, or internally. I'm going to leave it at the start there, and here's the selected path for that. very important, please, before you start a new project or session or whatever, please change the series name. So as you can see, there's series 0 at the moment, and I'm going to put it into series 1, or let's say 10, just in case I have a couple of other ones already there. Do that because after you took all the different images from this smartphone or this app, you can easily add series afterwards, but it's pretty hard if you have to do it by single pictures, and that's not what we want to do in this case. So just do it like this, and after that, all the different other ones is probably fine. You can of course select another camera. Cameras are more or less the front, the rear, and the different rear cameras if you have several of them. And so you can select which one. In general, you want to have the rear camera, which is camera 1 in this case, to be used. And you can of course already see what kind of camera it is because it's going to show you in the preview behind that. After that, as you can see, there's this little button there at the bottom. And if you click on that one, it's going to take its first picture, and then better say, I think it takes 5 seconds before the first one is going to be happening, and after that it's always 5 seconds and the next one is taken. Good thing about it is there is a pretty loud noise that's going to be hearable, a click noise, which more or less indicates that there was a camera picture taken, and that is really, really helpful for this kind of stuff. Okay, what I'm going to use now, or do now, is I'm going to just set up my phone here somewhere on the ground. I'm putting my little character here, my first one, in the frame, and now I'm just going to show you how it's done. As you can see, he's starting. And you already heard it probably. There was the first picture. I'm going to wait for the second one. There was the second one. And now you are just going to use your characters in your scene like you would like to. And he's always taking one picture, of course. One at a time, and you have to move around your characters like you would like to. It really doesn't matter what you are doing. All the pictures are going to be taken. It's of course better if you have some kind of a stative or something to fix your camera, or let's say your smartphone, of course. But if you don't have one, it really doesn't matter that much. Because it's meant to be a little bit rough, right? It's normal for this kind of animation stuff. Okay. It's not going to stop anywhere soon, so be careful with that. Because of course it's going to take pictures all the time. It's going to be possible, or at least it could be, that your camera will more or less stuff your hard drive. Okay, let's say that's it. With all the different images. Of course you would have to delete them afterwards if you don't want them anymore, stuff like that. So let's say this is our little stuff we want to do here. And after that, we are just going to go to the left part again and go to slideshow. This is button, which is a little bit hard to see. I'm going to put it here. Now it's easier to see. If we click on slideshow now, you can see that we are in a new option here, and here you can now create more or less your little movie or whatever you want to call that from the slideshows or the pictures you took. So first off, as you can see, there's no slideshow image at the moment in here. And so we are going to go to the upper menu, and as you can see, there's Add Last Series. This is the reason why I wanted to start a new series, which is done by more or less creating a new folder on your device, and that is done by giving it a new name. So let's go to Add Last Series. If we do that, you can already see, okay, hey, here is my series, which we already had. And This is somehow a little bit problematic depending on what you're doing here. As you can see, these are the images we want to include. We have a lot more, because probably the name was the same, or I didn't reset the series, I'm not sure. Anyway, what would we like to do? Let's go back, go in here again, and now you can create a new one. And now let's have a look at add files. So if you go in here, now you can of course just select them, whatever you want to do. That's possible too if you need to. Yeah, probably something like that, right? So this is more or less what we created here. If you do that, that's fine too. You can get them all over in here. And now you can more or less have a look at what you created there. First off, I would of course give it a name. So let's say this is grandpa animation or whatever. Or grandpa, that's enough. This one is more or less a playback speed. So how many frames per second, FPS, would you like to show in your later animation? And yeah, something like 5, because you created 5, is possible, but it doesn't really matter. So 5 in a second or whatever, or every 5 seconds one picture could be translated to 5 FPS if you want to, but it doesn't matter. You can create any kind of speed more or less with that, because of course if you're using a higher level of FPS, it's going to take a smaller amount of time to show all the images. So in the end, 3 or 5 or something is probably a good idea here for stop motion at the end, or in the end. And if you're using that, that's fine. And after you did that, you can now go to your lower menu. So there's the upper and the lower drawer, and go to start slideshow in this case. So let's do that. And what you already can see here is a preview of what we created models. There we go. In the end, it depends on which kind of selection you did there and stuff like that. And of course, you can now switch through all of them and have a look at the different single pictures to see what happened on the different pictures here. But in the end, you get what this app is all about. You are going to take pictures, you're going to put them into a small slideshow, and after that, you can, of course, save it to this kind of name, whatever you want to do there. Start a canvas slideshow. I'm not sure what a canvas slideshow is independent, in contrast to the other one. I'm really not sure what the difference is, but in the end, it's a pretty nice little app to create this kind of animations here and save them out afterwards and use them, for instance, as a file or an image file. If you are going to go with a GIF file, an animated GIF file, or if you want to do it in a different way. And of course, you can select stuff like this. So for instance, loop off or on. You can click on that and tell him, hey, loop this animation, or just keep it like it is. Yeah, other than that, we are more or less through this episode, because it's a smaller one, but I like it. It's a nice little tool for creating this kind of animations, if you like that. And if you have a little bit of time over the summertime or whatever, just use it to do something creative. And this is more or less something like that. So, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, have a great time, have a great day, and see you in the next episode. If you liked this episode, of course, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't subscribe to the channel till now, the button is down below. And of course, if you want to have any kind of conversation, comments, whatever, put them up there, please. Somebody is really driving a very loud car outside. And of course, if you want to give any kind of comments, do them in the commentary section down below. And other than that, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, see you around, and bye. Bye!